I trusted her with everything: my time, my love, my dreams, even my car. So imagine how it felt, standing across the parking lot, watching her kiss another guy in my sports car. The worst part? She thought the car was his. I wasn't supposed to be there. Coach had canceled practice last minute, and I thought I'd surprise her. Flowers in one hand, my heart in the other. Instead, I got sucker punched by reality. There she was, laughing like she hadn't in weeks. Sitting in the passenger seat of my car, acting like it was theirs. And the guy? Chasing our school's golden boy. The same guy she once called arrogant and full of himself. Now she was full on making out with him while he leaned against the steering wheel like he owned the world. I didn't move. I didn't blink. I just watched. Because pain like that, it freezes you. I'd worked double shifts at the auto shop to buy that car. Saved every penny, skipped nights out with friends, and even borrowed from my college fund. But none of that mattered now. Not when the woman I loved was kissing another man in the car I bled for. And what really destroyed me? Her eyes. The way she looked at him, sparkling, alive, like he was her entire world. She never looked at me like that. Not once. I could have confronted her, could have marched over and made a scene. But I didn't. Instead, I walked away quietly, completely, and disappeared from her world. Let her enjoy her fantasy. Let her think the hunk owned the car. Because the truth? She wasn't just kissing the wrong guy. She was about to lose the right one. For as long as I can remember, I've never had things handed to me. Growing up on the rougher side of town, I learned early that if I wanted something, I had to earn it. Whether it was shoes without holes, hot meals, or respect, I worked for it. My name's Ray. I'm 19, part-time mechanic, full-time dreamer. My life was simple. Wake up, hit the gym, go to college classes during the day, fix engines in the evening, and pray my hands didn't smell like grease when I met Isla. She walked into my world like she didn't belong to Itand. Maybe she didn't. Daughter of a doctor. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect laugh. The kind of girl you don't just fall for, you crash into her, and she leaves a dent in your soul. We met during a community fundraiser. She was organizing a blood drive for extra credit. I was there to donate. She teased me about passing out after my donation and bought me orange juice. I offered her a ride on my bike. She declined. But the way she smiled said she wasn't saying no forever. 3 weeks later, we were a thing. People at college couldn't believe it. Ray, the scholarship kid with oil under his nails, dating Isla, the campus queen? It didn't make sense to them. But to us, it did. We were fire and ice opposites, but drawn together like gravity. I'd take her to late-night burger joints she'd never heard of. She'd drag me to poetry nights and make me listen to people cry on stage. And somehow, it worked. She used to say I grounded her. That when she was with me, life felt real. And I believed her. Every single word. She wasn't impressed by money. Or so I thought. She liked my ambition, the way I talked about opening my own garage one day. She'd sit cross-legged on my bed, sketching random things in her notebook while I worked on business plans. When I finally bought my dream, Cara-used but sexy matte black Dodge Challenger, wanted her to be the first person to ride in it. Her eyes lit up when she saw it. She ran her fingers over the hood like it was made of gold. I laughed. She said I'd made it. But looking back now, maybe that's when things started to change. She started asking more questions about what's next. Not about dreams, about dollars. How much I was making. Whether I'd ever move out of my neighborhood. Whether I'd be okay with her lifestyle. I brushed it off. Told myself it was just a phase. She loved me, right? But love doesn't taste like betrayal. It doesn't smell like someone else's cologne in your car. What we had was real, wasn't it? Or maybe it was only real to me. It started small. Isla stopped picking up my calls after class. She'd text me hours later with half-hearted excuses: group study. A meeting ran late. Sorry, I forgot. I tried not to overthink it. She was busy. We both were. But something had shifted. Her tone. Her energy. The way she used to lean her head on my shoulder while waiting for coffee gone. Now, she flinched at public affection. Said she didn't like people watching us like we're on display. Then came the day I lent her my car. Her dad had taken hers to the shop. She had a presentation across town and panicked. I tossed her the keys without thinking twice. "It's all yours," I said, kissing her cheek. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I didn't question it. Why would I? She said she'd be back by 6. By 9, I was pacing outside the shop, staring at my phone. No texts. No calls. Just silence. At 9:32 p.m., she messaged, "Sorry, lost track of time. Dropped the car at your place. I'm exhausted. Talk tomorrow?" No kiss emoji. No heart. Just a period. Cold. Final. I didn't sleep that night. Something was off. The next morning, I checked the car. It smelled like cologne. Strong. Expensive. Not mine. The passenger seat was pushed all the way back. There was a used coffee cup in the holder. 2 straws. My gut twisted. Still, I tried to believe her. Maybe she got a ride from a classmate. Maybe the seat got adjusted accidentally. I told myself lies with my own mouth, just to avoid the truth scratching at my brain. But things kept piling up. She stopped coming by the shop. When I texted "miss you," she'd reply hours later with "you too" and nothing else. The girl who once called me 3 times a day now acted like texting back was a chore. Then came that night. The night coach canceled practice. The night I thought, let me surprise her. Maybe we just need to reconnect. I grabbed flowers. White tulips her favorite. Drove straight to her campus. The parking lot was mostly empty. And that's when I saw it. My car. Parked under the dim yellow lights. And her. Leaning across the center console, kissing him. Jason. His hands on her waist like he owned her. Her face glowing, laughing into his neck. Like they were in some perfect teen movie. Like I never existed. I didn't move. Didn't scream. Just stood there, clutching the flowers until the stems snapped in my fists. She thought the car was impressing him. But she didn't know he was the one being driven in my car. And suddenly, it all made sense. The distance, the cold replies, the perfectly timed excuses. She was trading up, trading me in. But what she didn't realize, she wasn't upgrading. She was making the biggest mistake of her life. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the keys to the car I used to be proud of. Now it felt like a betrayal on 4 wheels. My phone buzzed around midnight. "Isla, you okay? You seemed a little off today." Off? My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Yeah, just tired. I hit send. Because how do you reply to someone who doesn't even realize they've shattered you? I replayed the scene over and over in my head. Her laugh. The way she looked at him. Not a trace of hesitation, not an ounce of guilt. Was it always like this and I just didn't see it? Or had I somehow pushed her into his arms? My thoughts bounced between heartbreak and self-blame, swinging like a pendulum. I told myself I needed answers, closure. But deep down, I was scared. What if I asked and she admitted it? Where if she looked me in the eye and told me I was nothing but a stepping stone? The next day, I saw her in the library. She waved. Smiled. Like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't been in my car, tangled up with another guy just hours earlier. "Hey, stranger," she said, nudging me lightly. I forced a smile. "Hey, you okay?" she asked again, scanning my face. "Yeah," I lied. "Just tired." She leaned in and kissed my cheek. A habit. One that used to send sparks down my spine. Now it felt like a mosquito, bite annoying, unwanted, meaningless. I wanted to ask her, "Were you with Jason? Do you even love me anymore?" But I didn't. Because some part of me still hoped I was wrong. I kept trying to find logic in chaos. Maybe it wasn't what I thought. Maybe they were just talking. Maybe the kiss wasn't a kiss. Maybe God. Maybe I was losing my mind. That night, I couldn't stop myself. I scrolled through her Instagram. She hadn't posted in days. But Jason? He had. A blurry photo in his story, 2 cups of coffee, Isla's notebook open on a table, her handwriting unmistakable. Caption, study buddy's handwriting so neat it makes me insecure, lol. I stared at the screen. That I did something I hadn't done in months. I clicked on Jason's profile. Scroll. 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 Photos of basketball games. Selfies with fans. Random party pics. Then I found one from last week. A shot of a car. My car. The angle was low, the sky pink behind it. Isla was in the background, barely visible, but the stance, the hair, the curve of her smile, it was her. I knew it like I knew my own name. He captioned it, "New energy, new ride, new chapter." My chest caved in. He was flaunting my car, and she was letting him. What did she tell him? That I was just a friend? That the car was his to use? Or worse, did she pretend it was his from the start? Suddenly, everything we had felt like a lie. Every hug, every late-night talk, every whispered "I love you." Was it real to her? Or was I just a placeholder until someone flashier came along? I wanted to scream, punch a wall, break something, anything that didn't already feel broken. Instead, I opened our chat. Typed, "We need to talk." Deleted it. Typed again. Was it real? Deleted it again. In the end, I said nothing. Because I realized I wasn't ready to hear her answer. Not yet. 2 days passed. I didn't speak to her. I couldn't. But I couldn't let it go either. My mind kept circling the same question. Why Jason? He wasn't just a random guy. He was the kind of person who walked into a room and made you feel smaller. The kind of guy who used charm like a weapon. I needed to know what game he was playing. And more importantly, what she let him play with. So, I waited. Saturday morning, I pulled into the university gym parking lot. I knew Jason had early training sessions. I parked far, out of sight, and waited. Sure enough, an hour later, I saw him walk out. Alone. Headphones in. Smirking like always. I trailed him. Kept a distance. He walked across the lot, past the dorms, and into a nearby cafe. I waited 5 minutes, then followed. I wasn't sure what I was expecting. Maybe to catch him texting her. Maybe to hear him bragging about stealing my girl. But what I found Jason was already seated at a corner table. Across from Isla. She wasn't smiling this time. She looked tired. On edge. I slipped into the booth behind them. Back turned. Hoodie up. Pretending to scroll through my phone. I kept my breathing steady. My ears wide open. "You told me the car was yours," Jason said, leaning forward. Isla shifted uncomfortably. "I didn't lie. I just didn't correct you." Jason scoffed. "You let me drive it." "I didn't think he'd find out," she whispered. "I just needed you to think I wasn't like the others." "Others?" Jason leaned back, crossing his arms. "You used me." "No," she snapped. "I liked you. I still do." Then she said the line that froze me in place. But Ray, he was just a filler. Someone safe. Someone who wouldn't leave. My chest caved in. "Filler?" she continued, voice cracking slightly. "I didn't mean to hurt him. He was always good to me. Too good. But I wanted more. I wanted you." Jason laughed. "So what now? You thought I'd be okay with being tricked?" Silence. Then Isla leaned forward. "Don't you dare act like you're the victim. You loved the attention. You paraded that car like it was your birthright. You knew it wasn't yours, but you didn't care until now." Jason didn't reply. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She lied to both of us. She played both sides. I was the fool who loved her too much to see the truth. And Jason? He was the trophy she chased when she got bored of comfort. But hearing it from her own mouthy Ray was just a filler. It didn't just hurt, it rewired everything I thought I knew about her. About us. She wasn't the girl I'd fallen in love with. She was a stranger wearing her face. And that's when I realized I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was done. Done being the backup plan. Done being her emotional crutch. Done playing nice. If she wanted drama, she had no idea what I was about to bring. I didn't go home after hearing that conversation. I drove. For hours. The city lights blurred through my windshield as if the world outside was as distorted as my thoughts inside. Ray was just a filler. That line echoed in my head like a cruel chant. But by the time the sun dipped below the skyline, something inside me shifted. I wasn't going to disappear quietly. She'd made a fool out of me in my own car, in front of the whole university, in front of him. Now it was my turn to return the favor with interest. Monday morning came. It was campus orientation week, meaning everyone would be gathered around the courtyard for clubs, sign-ups, music, and mingling. Perfect. I texted her. Me. Hey. Can we meet by the fountain? Just want to talk. No drama. She replied in less than a minute. Isla. Of course. Been meaning to talk too. See you there, yellow heart the nerve. I reached the fountain first. My hands were steady. My chest calm. She showed up 5 minutes later, hair perfectly styled, lip gloss shimmering, wearing that soft smile that used to melt me. Hey you, she said, brushing her hair behind her ear. I didn't smile back. Just looked at her. Silent. Her smile faded a little. Ray? What's wrong? I stepped closer. Voice low. I heard what you said to Jason. Her face dropped. Wait, what? At the cafe, I added. Saturday. Corner booth behind you. She froze. Panic flashed in her eyes. Ray, I can explain. I raised my voice just loud enough for the people nearby to turn and look. You said I was just a filler. That I was safe. That I wouldn't leave. Ray, please, she whispered, eyes darting at the growing crowd. Can we talk somewhere private? No, I said. You used me. You used my car to impress him. You used my heart to make yourself feel powerful. She reached out to grab my arm. That's not true. I cared about you, cared? I laughed bitterly. Then why were you kissing him in my car? Gasps. Murmurs. Someone had started filming. I didn't care. She opened her mouth, but no words came. So I kept going. You let him think the car was his. You let the whole campus think you'd upgraded. But the truth is, I stepped back. You downgraded from someone who loved you to someone who'll toss you the second you're not shiny enough. Her eyes filled with tears. Real or fake? I couldn't tell anymore. You don't mean that, she whispered. Oh, I do. Then I pulled out my phone. By the way, I said, tapping my screen, I sent the full cafe recording to Jason. Her face went pale. You think he's still going to want you after hearing you say he was just a status symbol? She stumbled back. Ray, please, this isn't you. You're not like this. You're right, I said coldly. I wasn't. And then I walked away. No turning back. No second glance. Behind me I heard whispers, the murmurs growing louder. But I didn't care. She wanted power, control, a spotlight. Now she had one. Only it wasn't admiration on their faces anymore. It was pity. And she deserved every second of it. The video made its rounds by sunset. Clips from that confrontation spread like wildfire through campus group chats and anonymous Instagram pages. Someone even edited it with dramatic music like it was some high-stakes reality TV show. Part of me was embarrassed. I never wanted to be the center of attention like that. But a bigger part felt peace. For the first time in months, I wasn't second-guessing myself. I wasn't holding on to the version of Isla I wanted her to be. I saw her for who she really was. And I let her go. Jason blocked her the same day. I heard from a mutual that he showed up at her dorm, threw a bracelet back at her, and said, "You lie prettier than you look." And that's saying something. Harsh. But maybe that's what she needed. The queen of the scene became the whisper of shame. She stopped coming to the campus cafe. Avoided her old table. Even her stories went dark. And me? I lived. I woke up lighter. Started jogging again. Joined a book club, believe it or not. People came up to me with half smiles and whispered, "Good for you," or "She didn't deserve you anyway." One girl even said, "That was the best real-life plot twist I've ever seen." But that wasn't the win. The real win was getting my self-worth back. One afternoon, I sat at the back of the library, earbuds in, trying to read but mostly watching the rain tap against the windows. That's when she slid into the seat across from me. Not Isla. Her name was Tessa. I recognized her from the confrontation video comment she'd replied, "This dude deserves better, 10/10 performance." She smiled. "Hey, you probably don't remember me. I sit 2 rows behind you in lit theory." I smiled back. "I remember." She looked nervous. I just wanted to say, "That video? You handled it like a boss." I chuckled. A very angry, very broken-hearted boss. She shrugged. "Still better than a silent doormat. Most guys would have just ghosted." We talked. About books, bad dates, life. She didn't try to fix me. She just listened. That night, for the first time in a long while, I felt like I was speaking to someone who saw me, not my car, not my image, just me. We hung out again. And again. No pressure. No lies. "And Isla?" She tried to reach out. 3 weeks after the fallout, she texted, "Isla, I miss you. I make mistakes. Can we talk?" I stared at the screen. The old me would have answered. The part of me that still hoped she'd change. That she'd say something, anything that would make it all feel like a bad dream. But I wasn't that guy anymore. I didn't reply. I didn't block her either. I just let her message sit there. Unread. Unanswered. Because silence? Sometimes that's the loudest truth you can give someone. She gambled my love for status. And lost everything. I didn't need revenge. Watching her burn the bridge with her own hands was enough. Now, I'm not saying life turned perfect overnight. There are days I still think about her. Moments, songs, places that make me remember. But it doesn't hurt like it used to. Because now, I know love isn't about grand gestures or shiny things. It's about honesty, respect, and being chosen, not used. She chose the car, the image, the applause. I chose me. And maybe that was the best love story I could have written. For myself.